So when we're thinking about education solutions for the 21st century, the first thing we have to think about is how do we deliver educational content, and I'm guessing here, to 4 billion users who A, don't read or write English, or probably don't even read or write their own natural language, and B, how do we provide them education when they lack the traditional, what I call education 1.0 infrastructure, schools, teachers. So those are the really, I think, are the two main questions when we're thinking about a solution. And the reality is this, is that everything you're seeing on the web, which is what I call an education 2.0 solutions, which is basically education 1.0 embedded with 2.0, Web 2.0, whether it is Schlipio or Moodle or all these other E2O solutions, really doesn't address that question, does it? I mean, the language question and everything else. So, as we think about a solution, we have to contemplate those problems. So, what is the solution that what we need to consider? And I would argue that the solution we need to consider needs to be delivered, A, in a format that people are used to. And a format that every child in the world is used to is television. You know, I don't know how many of the 4 billion have television, probably 3 billion, maybe only 2 billion. But if we're going to model a delivery system, we want to model it off television. And because A, that's what kids are used to, especially kids in the developing countries, as they get access to technology, usually the first thing they get is going to be a television, or maybe in the future a handheld, or even I would argue an exo computer in a way can be viewed as a delivery tool. So we need to be thinking about delivering education. Now, I want to throw this out, case of television, right? Now, a lot of emphasis that has developed over the last 150 years, especially with our education, post-industrial revolution, especially post-war effort, has become very embedded in this idea of curriculum. And the thing is, there's plenty of evidence that shows that the curriculum model that that we have in America doesn't work, and it's not educating. Even though we have this strict curriculum guidelines set forth by so and so and endorsed by the states and blah 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 blah, the reality is it's not working. So, what I want to propose is, let's not focus on curriculum. Let's focus on education, on learning. Now, we can tie objectives to established curriculum that are out there, but the real goal we need to focus on is, one, providing content that's fun, enjoyable, and creating a mechanism to test whether a student has retained that knowledge and understands and has digested it and has can apply it, synthesize it dialectically, and so if you think of television really hasn't changed in the last 70, 80 years, whatever. I don't know how long television, it's the 1950s, so 70 years pretty much. Yeah, 70 years of television. So television really hasn't changed. I mean, even we have the biggest thing about television now is A, it's digital, 2, it's flat screen. I mean, but if you look at television content in the 1950s, you kind of laugh at it because of the way they kind of talked and how they talked to this thing. My point is this, is that the delivery system that we create for education may be considered as rudimentary as television in the 1950s in regards to curriculum deployment. However, just as television has evolved over the last 70 years, the content, the model, and everything will also evolve. So what we need to do is build, in a way, I'm going to just say this, but it's not what I mean, is the television for education. When I say the television for education, what I'm referring to is the delivery system for education. And once we have that delivery system in place, then we can work on actual delivery of the, the curriculum in a format that meets blah, 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 blah. What I think you'll find, though, is that that will happen by its own accord, because a community of global educators will come together and do it. And, and I think we'll be surprised, just as everyone was surprised that Wikipedia filled out, as it did. Well, a lot of people, when it first came out, said no one's ever going to contribute. Why would they contribute? And they really set an example by, by proving that such a thing is doable. So those are just some thoughts on a delivery system, on how education in the future should be modeled. I'm actually off to an under-conference near Tokyo with a bunch of educators, so I hope to talk to them about this and get their input. But I was just thinking, and I'll make some more thoughts. My name is Michael Trout. I'm the CEO and E-Revolution Dictator for the E-Revolution movement on Facebook, bringing you the E-Singularity, bringing you change. Are you ready? Because it's coming.